Hey Stillwater, welcome to the Still Connect podcast, a podcast all about Stillwater, Oklahoma. I'm your host, Denver Evans, a born and raised Stillwater local and owner of Stillwater Digital Marketing. Every Wednesday, I share a friendly chat with someone in our community that's helping make Stillwater such a great place. Whether you're a longtime resident or just a visitor, this is your place to plug in, stay inspired, and still connect with the stories that shape our community. And if you ever want to watch these interviews, you can check them out on YouTube. Before we get started with today's episode, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our newest subscriber. Thank you, Candy Russell, for subscribing. I also want to shout out our newest business sponsor, Renovate Stillwater. I'm really excited about today's episode. I'm here with Beth Ronspiez with Memory Lane Vintage Mall. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. So give us kind of an overview of your business.
Yeah, so Memory Lane is a vintage mall. We opened up in August of 2024. My husband Jeremy and I decided after years of being vendors in other malls that we wanted to try owning our own mall. We rent space to other vendors, so we do have space in here that is our own stuff. So we can still get out and do the fun part, find the fun vintage stuff. But most of the store is rented space to other vendors. We have about 48 vendors in the store. Wow. That bring in their own stuff, price their own stuff, and take care of their space to bring their treasures to everybody else to come and shop and find them. So
very cool. So when did you all open?
So we opened August 1st of 2024.
Okay.
We spent about 2 or 3 months getting the store ready, and then we opened up on August 1st of 2024.
Well, happy belated 1 year.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. So what has this experience been like for you guys?
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot. We had been, like I said, we started in this being vendors. We have been in this for a few years. My husband's done it longer, and then I got involved, but we've had booths ourselves here at the Stillwater Antique Mall, which we still are vendors there as well, in Cushing, a few stores in Guthrie. So we've been on that side of it. So being on the other side of it as owners, we've definitely learned a lot. It's definitely a different perspective of the business, but it's been a lot of fun. Having your own store, you kind of get to take the best things of all the stores you've been in and all the stores you visit and bring them to life in your own store. And so that's kind of what we've wanted to do with Memory Lane is try to make it a great experience for our customers when they come in to shop.
That's great. So you said 48 vendors?
Yes.
Where are these people from? Are they local?
Most of them are local, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have several vendors that also have space over at the Stillwater Antique Mall. But we have a lot that we're on waiting lists that we're waiting to get in there, and it just doesn't happen. There's not a lot of movement. So a lot of new vendors that this is their first experience. And it's really exciting to see people come into this and kind of start to get creative and do this as a hobby. Most people do it as a hobby, but it's just really fun to watch that. But yeah, we have a couple of vendors from the Hennessy area, but really most everybody's fairly local. So
very cool. Yeah, my wife and I have noticed when you were talking about the creativity that kind of no matter what time we come in throughout the year, a lot of the different vendors areas are themed. You know, they'll be like right now, very fall, right. OSU. But then there's a lot of like Christmas around that time and spring, a lot of, see a lot of leprechauns and, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's really cool. So what are some of the lessons that you guys have kind of learned about owning a business through this, what I would say is a pretty unique business style? I feel like a lot of business owners, their experience is more like direct retail and not managing so many individual people. So what has that been like?
My husband and I, neither one had experience as owning a business, running a business. I've always done bookkeeping work. I'm always in an office in the back somewhere. So never been, customer service oriented. My husband has had jobs where he's worked with the public, but being business owners, we've learned a lot. One of the most important lessons I think we've learned is just you have to make your business a place people want to be. When they walk in the door, you have to make sure they feel welcome, that they feel safe, that they feel that it's a place that they want to be in. And in our case, we want them to feel like it's a place they want to be in for a while.
Yeah, right. So they can walk through and
Yeah,
see every single, yeah.
there's a lot to see in here, and so we want to make it an enjoyable experience. And so we've had to take into account the music we play. We want to make sure that it's something that all ages, because here in Stillwater, we are lucky because we have a very broad range of age groups that come in. So, it's just thinking of all the things, the smells, the sights, the sounds, everything. We have 2 store dogs that are here with us. My husband every day, Itty Bitty and Numa. They greet customers. So many customers love that. A lot of these kids come to college and they have to leave their, their fur babies at home. So that kind of gives them a little taste of home. And so you just want to make your business someplace that people want to come to and want to come back to. And so we try to do everything on our end to do that. And our vendors do that by keeping their booth spaces changed out. They come in often and bring new stuff and move things around to make it a new experience every time the customers come in.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what has been your favorite thing about this new endeavor and kind of learning what owning a business is like, or maybe even just like the, management side of things? Yeah. What's been your favorite?
So my favorite thing probably is meeting people because I've never been in that role before. I've always kind of been on the back side of things in my previous jobs. And I still do work outside the business, so I'm not here as much as my husband. But when I am here, I'm able to meet the customers. And we have regular customers that come in several times a week, and you get to learn their, kind of what they're here for, the things they like. And then when you see items come into the store and you're like, oh, that reminds me of this customer, like they're really going to enjoy that when they come in. Yeah. And so that to me is something I've really enjoyed is meeting the people in the community. We have a wonderful community here in Stillwater. Everyone supported us so well. It's just been great, and meeting everybody and getting their feedback has been just crucial to our growth.
That's great. So how long have you been in Stillwater?
So my husband and I moved to Stillwater in 2000.
Okay.
He was in law enforcement at that time. So we've raised both of our kids here. They're both grown, and they went to school in Perkins. But we've settled here and just love the community, and this is probably where we'll be. So
yeah. What do you like about Stillwater?
For us, it's big enough. There's a lot to do. I think the university probably has a lot to do with that. But it's a big enough town, but it's still a small town.
Yeah.
Like you still have that small town vibe. You still feel like you're part of a community. Everybody's a familiar face, and we just really like that. We're both from small town Western Oklahoma, and so I don't think we would fit into a big city vibe. But this gives us, it's large enough that there's plenty to do, plenty to see, places to eat, but we still feel like we're home and we're in a community.
Yeah. So I know you guys do some things other than just kind of like your just in-store retail. You guys have some kind of outdoor kind of things that happen. What all do you guys do in your business other than just letting people come into the store?
So once a month, we do an outdoor flea market where we rent space outside of our store here in our yard area. And usually we can fit around 30 different vendors out there. That we do. We try to, again, stay with vintage, but we do allow handmade items as well. And so we do that once a month, and we'll do it through November. Our October date is October 25th, and then November is, I'd have to look at my dates, but we have one in November. That'll be our last one of the year, just due to the winter time coming and the weather.
That makes sense.
We'll take off until price start back up again in March. But those markets are a great opportunity for local vendors, small business people to come out and have an opportunity to get a large group of people to see their stuff. And it's just been a wonderful experience having those, because we do get a different group of people besides our vendors that are here in the store. And it just brings a great community feel.
Yeah. It's a nice little co-marketing opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if a business is here that people are familiar with, it brings them to your front door, and vice versa. If people know about you and they come and see, someone like I know Henry, Velvet Fudge, I saw him out there for one of the market days. So kind of introduces you to new people.
Absolutely.
And other people to you.
Exactly. We've gotten some great regular vendors that, like Henry, that are here at most of our markets. We have it on Saturdays, which the farmers market is just down the street on Saturdays.
Well, you got 2 markets on Saturdays,
yes,
right?
And now Block 34 is just amazing, right?
Yep.
So it's really been wonderful because we're all in walking distance.
Right.
And so it's been a great thing because people get out and they can actually just kind of roam around this area and visit all of us at once. And it's really been wonderful. I just love the community feel of Saturdays here. It's really great.
Yep. We just need to make them all bigger.
Yep. That's right.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about your experience before doing this. So you said you did a lot of like bookkeeping, kind of back office stuff. What industry? What?
I've done a lot.
Okay.
Right out of college, I worked at a CPA office. And then when we first moved here, I worked for just a small business. We did restaurant accounting. So we had franchisees with different fast food places, and they would send in their documentation, their paperwork to us, and we would work up all their accounting and stuff and send it back off to them. Then I worked for another CPA. And now I'm working at OSU. So,
oh, great.
I've worked in a lot of different things, but it's just I just work with the numbers.
Yeah. So what do you do with OSU exactly?
I'm an accounting specialist with Extension Finance.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So what about your husband? What did he do before this?
So he was in law enforcement for about 15 years. He worked for the Perkins Police Department. And then he actually drove a truck in the oil field for about 8 years. And then he quit. He got out of the oil field. Can't really remember why. Just decided he didn't like being out. That's a job that you do whether it rains or shines, right? And it's not much fun.
No.
And so he decided he didn't want to do that anymore. But he got a job here in town and was working for a company, again, customer service related. And that's when this opportunity came up. When this building came up for lease, it was one of those things we'd been thinking about doing it. Real estate in Stillwater is very expensive. If anyone is in that space, they would know. And we came across this building for lease on happenstance, and we were getting ready to go on a cruise. And we decided if it was still available when we got back from our cruise, we were going to make an appointment, come look at it.
Nice.
So we did, and it was, and here we are. So
here we are. Yep. Awesome. So Stillwater has a lot of really great couple-owned businesses. What has it been like for you guys starting a business as a married couple?
It's been interesting for sure. We've been married for 26 years, so it's one of those things that tests you, I guess, when you think you've been through it all, right?
Yeah.
This building needed some work, so we came into it and had to do a lot of. We ripped up carpet, we sanded and refinished wood floors. All of those things were a test to things. But the business itself, really our personalities just kind of offset each other. I'm very detail oriented, very much about the little things and things being in their place and how things need to be. Jeremy is very much customer and he's very good about that side of things. And so we kind of play off of each other. The thing, like his strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so it kind of just works. Not to say that doesn't cause frustration because,
I mean, if you
it's
get 2 people in a room, it doesn't matter what 2 people, there's going to be disagreement on some level. Yeah.
But luckily, because we have been married for so long, we pretty much know how to handle those disagreements and things. And we did have to learn though how to compartmentalize and like this is business, this is home.
Yeah.
Like this has to stop at the door, and now we're at home, and we don't need to. This doesn't need to come home with us.
Yeah.
That was kind of hard at first.
Yeah, with some of the other couple-owned businesses that I know, yeah, it's hard to set those boundaries sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably been the hardest part, because when you're a small business, it does start to kind of the lines blur, because this becomes a lot of your life.
Yeah.
And you really have to start to say, okay, there has to be a cutoff point. This has to become, this is a job at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This is a business, and we do have to still have a life outside of that. We have 6 grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
And so we still have to make time for that. And we still have to make sure that they feel, that they have grandma and grandpa. So,
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So my wife and I work together, and we work from home. So
oh, wow. Yeah.
it's like,
that's really hard.
It's like we can only talk to each other about work between these times,
Yeah.
sometimes even just like within our home office or
Absolutely.
whatever. Yeah. Or we'll like go on a walk and we'll say, we'll talk about work until we're back home, and then
We're done.
we're done with the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
those boundaries are important for sure.
yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting a business in Stillwater?
I would just say do your research, first of all. With us, we thought about it for a couple of years. I would say really, we did a lot. Make sure you don't be afraid to go to businesses that are similar to what you're considering, and talk to them about their experiences in the community. Make sure that there is room for growth in Stillwater. We were lucky. We felt like Stillwater could maintain a second vintage antique store.
Yeah.
And we worked very closely with Amy Pitchford that runs the Stillwater Antique Mall.
Okay, great.
And she was very helpful, so
Awesome.
helpful in our startup, getting us, she helped us get our vendor base started, with her waiting list, and so much. She just so helpful, giving us information on, things that she did and how she got started. And
that is not a common thing to see businesses help someone else in the same industry.
I think people fear competition.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the way we view it, and Amy, like, we're not in competition with each other. We want to become a destination. We want people to come to Stillwater to vintage shop.
Yep.
And so we're basically, we want to become the vintage community in Stillwater together, not necessarily in competition with each other. And so that's been big. So I think that's my advice, would be just do your research, and don't be afraid of your so-called competition. Go out and seek them out. Most business owners are going to be more than happy to share their experiences.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah. Not very common. I've heard all kinds of stories about people having little comments and remarks made to them about, oh, you're starting a business like my business.
Right.
And and that doesn't help us grow.
Right.
Like unless it's a very, very niche industry, there's no industry that can only support one business.
Yeah.
And competition makes us better.
I agree.
And why not develop a community big enough in Stillwater for one industry, so that Tulsa or Oklahoma City, some extremely large business in that industry doesn't just come in and try to kind of take our market for that as well.
Absolutely agree.
So, because there are a lot of service businesses that will kind of travel to Stillwater, and it's like, hey, let's build some really strong people here.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Awesome. So any kind of final thoughts on just that you would share with people in Stillwater, or that you want people to know about your business that maybe they don't?
I don't know that anybody, I just know that we're here, I guess, is the biggest thing. That's probably our biggest comment that we get almost daily is, we didn't even know you were here.
Yeah.
And it's from people here in our community. And marketing is hard. It is hard.
It's
and you
very
don't know
hard.
how to do it.
Yeah.
We have a huge social media presence, but I guess that's not enough.
How does it translate is kind of the tricky part.
Because we're still just so unknown.
Yeah.
And it's great because we have such a great customer base and such a great support here in Stillwater already. So to know there's still more out there is encouraging.
Yeah.
But it's also disheartening, because I feel like, oh my gosh, what else can I do? So I guess, that's the thing, is just spread the word, tell your friends, tell everybody, share on Facebook, share on Instagram.
Yeah.
My husband tries to do TikTok too.
Oh,
We're trying to do the things, but just spread the word about Memory Lane, because we're here and we're happy to be here, and we're really trying to be someplace that people want to come in Stillwater and shop vintage.
Yeah, absolutely. And just kind of a side note on that, just to everyone, it's free to like things on Facebook. It's free to comment, and it's extremely free to share. So, and if you can send money into a local business by sharing a post, even just throwing it on your story or something like that, like that makes a huge, huge difference to local business owners. We've seen in our marketing company, thousands of dollars spent with a business because someone shared.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Or because that business went and interacted with people in the local community. Yeah. And like, you know, if you get on the Vintage Lane thing and you just like someone's post, they go, oh, hey, this person liked my post. I'm going to look at their thing. Oh, they're here in Stillwater. They're vintage. Oh, I'm going to go check that out on Saturday. Thousands of dollars, you know, people going into coffee shops, all kinds of different businesses, service businesses, all of that stuff being hired because of free actions on social media. Yeah. So it makes a difference. Use it. Help local businesses.
Absolutely.
Through resources that are completely free to all of us. So
I love it.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
I don't believe so.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Beth. Make sure you follow Memory Lane Vintage Mall on all their social media channels, and all of that is down in the show notes below. Laboratory Distilling on all their social media, linked in the show notes below. And if you loved today's episode, don't forget to follow the podcast on social and to share the podcast with all of your Stillwater friends. If you believe in building community through these conversations, consider supporting the podcast on Patreon, where, for less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can get early access to episodes, a peek behind the curtain at the podcast making process, and a shout out on an episode. With a higher contribution, you can do things like submit questions for upcoming guests, make special requests for the show, get access to online Q&As, and even be on the podcast for an interview segment. And I want to give some of those people a shout out. Currently, we have one Stillwater patron sponsor, Darren Huddleston. Thank you so much. And also a big thank you to our business sponsor, Renovate Stillwater. No matter what your capacity for supporting the podcast is, every little bit helps grow this amazing community. And we all need community. So even when life gets busy, make sure you still connect.